Self-connection is the foundation of inner strength and confidence. When a woman takes the time to connect with herself, she develops a deeper understanding of who she truly is, beyond societal expectations, relationships, or external pressures. It's a profound journey that goes beyond self-care routines or superficial practices. This connection with oneself is rooted in mindfulness, emotional awareness, and spiritual grounding. It's about learning to listen to your inner voice and trusting the wisdom that lies within. Through self-connection, you unlock a reservoir of self-awareness that helps you make better decisions, set clear intentions, and navigate the world with purpose. In a world that constantly demands our attention, prioritizing self-connection becomes revolutionary. When a woman becomes attuned to her own needs and desires, she no longer relies on the validation of others to feel complete. She is whole in herself. Self-connection allows her to filter out the noise and distractions, enabling her to focus on what truly matters. Instead of being swayed by outside opinions, she makes decisions that align with her authentic self. This clarity of mind gives her the power to lead a life that is intentionally designed around her values, not the expectations placed on her by others. Resistance traps you in the past because it will trap you in the future. This deeper self-awareness also nurtures emotional intelligence. As women strengthen their connection to their inner selves, they become more in tune with their emotional landscape. They are no longer at the mercy of their moods or reactions, but rather able to understand and manage their emotions with grace. Self-connection fosters resilience in the face of life's challenges, allowing a woman to remain centered even in turbulent times. When she can control her emotional state, she becomes less likely to be manipulated by external circumstances and more capable of handling the ups and downs of life with equanimity. The act of self-connection encourages personal growth. It pushes a woman to evaluate her beliefs, her habits, and the patterns that shape her life. This deep self-reflection allows her to recognize areas of her life where she may be holding herself back, and more importantly, to take responsibility for her own growth. Through this process, she learns not to place blame on others or circumstances, but to recognize that she holds the power to shape her future. This realization alone is transformative, as it shifts her perspective from victimhood to empowerment. By cultivating self-connection, a woman becomes more grounded in her self-worth. Instead of relying on external affirmations, she begins to draw strength from within. This means that when she faces challenges, her confidence is unshakable because she knows who she is, what she stands for, and what she deserves. She doesn't feel the need to prove herself to anyone. Her worth is inherent and constant. So, this sense of inner stability creates a sense of peace, as she is no longer chasing approval or seeking external validation. In relationships, self-connection allows for healthier dynamics. When a woman knows herself, she can show up authentically and set healthy boundaries. She doesn't enter relationships from a place of neediness or desperation, but from a place of wholeness. This changes the nature of her interactions, creating more meaningful, balanced connections. She can love freely and openly because she understands that her happiness does not depend on someone else. This allows her to engage in relationships that are based on mutual respect and growth rather than dependency. Self-connection also brings a sense of empowerment in decision-making. Whether it's a career move, a personal relationship, or a new project, when a woman is deeply connected with herself, she is able to make decisions that align with her true purpose. This alignment gives her a sense of clarity and confidence in the choices she makes. She no longer second guesses herself or looks to others for approval. Instead, she trusts her intuition, which has been honed through her connection to her deeper self. With this clarity, she steps forward boldly, knowing that each decision is an expression of her authentic self. Lastly, self-connection fosters a sense of inner peace and fulfillment. As a woman becomes more connected to her true essence, she learns to embrace life's uncertainties with grace. She is not constantly searching for external solutions to her problems because she has learned to turn inward and find comfort and answers within. This peace becomes contagious as her energy shifts and influences those around her. Her sense of balance and wholeness invites others to cultivate the same within themselves. Through this connection, she experiences life in its fullest, embracing both the joys and challenges with a calm and grounded spirit. Independence is often misunderstood. It is not about isolation or shutting others out. It is about having the strength to stand alone, even in the face of adversity. When a woman embraces her independence, she is asserting her power to make choices that reflect her own desires and values. Independence comes from within, and it is the understanding that her happiness and success are not dependent on anyone else's approval or validation. It is a declaration of autonomy, of having the courage to trust herself and her decisions. This self-reliance gives her the ability to navigate life with confidence, knowing that she has the strength to handle whatever challenges may arise. A woman who embodies independence becomes an example of resilience. She does not wait for permission to pursue her dreams or goals. She creates her own path. Independence allows her to take risks and step outside of her comfort zone because she trusts that she can handle the consequences of her actions. She knows that failure is not the end, but rather a learning opportunity that strengthens her resolve, which is a clarity and alignment with her own purpose. This sense of autonomy gives her the freedom to make mistakes and grow without fear of judgment, allowing her to continuously evolve and redefine her life on her own terms. At the heart of independence is the ability to set boundaries. A woman who is independent knows her limits and is not afraid to assert them. She understands that her time, energy, and resources are valuable, and she does not allow others to take them for granted. These boundaries are not walls to keep people out, but rather a form of self-respect. She knows that by protecting her personal space and emotional well-being, she is able to show up fully in her relationships and endeavors. This ability to establish healthy boundaries is a testament to her inner strength, as it requires both courage and self-awareness. Independence also fosters a sense of self-sufficiency. A woman who is independent is capable of taking care of herself, financially, emotionally, and physically. She does not rely on anyone else to fulfill her needs, but instead she becomes her own provider and protector. This self-sufficiency is empowering because it removes the need for dependency. She becomes capable of making decisions based on her own desires and needs rather than being swayed by the expectations or desires of others. Breaking down perfectionism, which most Americans call sloth, strives for a worthless balance against the self-sufficiency of society and the world around them. This sense of control over her own life fuels her self-esteem and reinforces her belief in her ability to achieve her goals. Embracing independence also means embracing freedom. A woman who is independent is free from the chains of societal expectations, gender norms, and the pressure to conform. She is not bound by the roles others may want to impose on her. She defines her own identity. This freedom allows her to explore who she truly is without being confined by labels or limitations. It gives her the power to pursue what excites her and to change direction whenever she feels the need. With independence, she is free to create the life that reflects her true essence, rather than one shaped by external influences. Moreover, independence is a source of empowerment in relationships. When a woman is independent, she is not seeking to complete herself through another person. Instead, she enters relationships from a place of wholeness, knowing that she is enough as she is. This creates a healthier dynamic where both partners can grow together without one becoming overly dependent on the other for emotional support or validation. Dan Levette writes, encapsulates life properly. It is not so much about the person as it is about life's collective balance. Independence fosters mutual respect, as each person is free to pursue their own interests while also supporting and loving each other. The relationship becomes an addition to her life, not the sole source of her happiness. The strength found in independence also helps women advocate for themselves. Whether in the workplace, in their personal lives, or in society at large, an independent woman knows how to stand up for herself and her beliefs. She is unafraid to speak her truth and to take action when necessary. This courage is not born from arrogance, but from a deep understanding of her worth and her rights. Independence gives her the voice to demand respect and to seek out opportunities that align with her values. She is not afraid to challenge the status quo because she knows that she has the power to create change. Lastly, independence enables a woman to live a life of fulfillment. When a woman is self-reliant, she is able to prioritize her own growth and well-being without guilt or hesitation. She pursues her passions, nurtures her talents, and builds a life that is meaningful to her. This autonomy leads to a deep sense of fulfillment, as she is no longer waiting for someone else to give her permission or approval to live the life she dreams of. Instead, she takes charge of her own destiny, and with each step she takes toward her goals, she becomes more empowered. Most importantly, she realizes she is not alone in this. There are many others like her who feel the same way. Emotional balance is the ability to navigate the full spectrum of emotions without being overwhelmed by them. It is the art of feeling deeply while maintaining control over how emotions influence our actions and decisions. For a woman, emotional balance means not suppressing feelings, but embracing them in a healthy and constructive way. When she achieves emotional balance, she can process her emotions fully without letting them dictate her responses. So for women, right, we need to be able to let feelings arise without letting them dictate her responses. This allows her to approach challenges with a calm mind and make thoughtful decisions rather than reacting impulsively to momentary feelings. Emotional balance doesn't mean being unemotional or indifferent. Rather, it's about mastering emotional intelligence and using it as a tool for personal growth. Achieving emotional balance requires self-awareness. A woman who is emotionally balanced is in tune with her feelings and understands what triggers her emotional responses. This awareness allows her to step back and assess her emotions before reacting. Instead of being controlled by anger, sadness, or frustration, she can recognize these emotions, understand their source, and choose how to respond in a way that aligns with her values. This process of pausing, reflecting, and then responding with intention strengthens emotional resilience and leads to a more grounded approach to life. Self-regulation is another crucial aspect of emotional balance. This is the ability to manage one's emotional state even when external circumstances are challenging. For a woman, this means not letting stress or anxiety dictate her actions, but finding ways to calm herself, whether through deep breathing, taking a break, or practicing mindfulness. Emotional regulation enables her to maintain composure in high-pressure situations, ensuring that she doesn't allow her emotions to cloud her judgment or relationships. By practicing self-regulation, she not only protects her peace, but also models emotional stability to those around her. And with all this in mind, it is my great pleasure to introduce our very special guest, Selena Sankustasi. In addition, emotional balance fosters healthier relationships. When a woman can manage her emotions effectively, she is able to engage in more open, honest, and empathetic interactions. She can express herself clearly without letting her emotions spiral out of control, creating space for meaningful conversations. Moreover, she becomes more attuned to the emotions of others, offering support without becoming overwhelmed by their feelings. This balance allows her to communicate effectively, resolve conflicts peacefully, and create stronger, more supportive connections in both personal and professional relationships. Another key to emotional balance is boundary setting. A woman who is emotionally balanced knows when to protect her energy and when to engage with others. She recognizes that not every emotional situation requires her intervention, and that her emotional health should be a priority. Setting boundaries helps her conserve emotional energy and avoid burnout, especially in situations where emotional demands are high. By setting clear limits, she maintains control over her emotional well-being and avoids becoming entangled in situations that may drain or destabilize her. Emotional balance also requires the ability to embrace vulnerability. It may seem counterintuitive, but true emotional balance involves being open and honest about one's emotions without letting them overpower one's sense of self. A woman who is emotionally balanced does not fear expressing her feelings or asking for help when needed. She understands that vulnerability is a sign of strength, not weakness. This is the best way to refine and reset when you encounter bad luck. By allowing herself to be vulnerable, she fosters deeper connections and shows others that it's okay to feel and express emotions as long as they do not control us. End of quote. Part of maintaining emotional balance is practicing self-compassion. When a woman is emotionally balanced, she is kind to herself during times of emotional struggle. She understands that emotions, both positive and negative, are part of the human experience. Instead of criticizing herself for feeling sad, angry, or anxious, she acknowledges these emotions with empathy. This self-compassion allows her to move through difficult feelings without getting stuck in them. It helps her bounce back more quickly from setbacks and approach challenges with a sense of patience and understanding toward herself. Finally, emotional balance is cultivated through mindfulness and self-care. By incorporating mindfulness practices such as meditation or journaling, a woman can stay connected to her emotional state and learn how to process her feelings more effectively. Regular self-care activities, whether physical, mental, or emotional, provide the foundation for maintaining emotional balance. These practices help restore energy, reduce stress, and give her the space to reconnect with her inner self. This practices help restore energy, reduce stress, and give her the space to reconnect with her inner self. Through consistent mindfulness and self-care, emotional balance becomes less of an effort and more of a natural state of being. It's a proposition I truly believe in, and the promise it claims for your future. Magnetic attraction is not about trying to make others like you or seeking external validation. It is about embodying a sense of self-assuredness that draws people to you effortlessly. When a woman is genuinely aligned with who she is, both inside and out, she radiates a magnetic energy that others can't help but be drawn to. This energy is not based on appearances alone, but on a deep sense of authenticity and confidence. This comes from a place of knowing one's worth and being comfortable in one's own skin. This powerful presence often attracts others naturally, as people are instinctively drawn to those who are unapologetically themselves. Sometimes the truth is scary, but it might be the best thing to do. We can't control what life throws our way. At the heart of magnetic attraction is authenticity. A woman who is true to herself exudes a unique charm that cannot be replicated. She is not trying to fit into a mold or impress others with a curated version of herself. Instead, she owns her flaws, strengths, and quirks, and this authenticity becomes her allure. When people sense that someone is comfortable with who they are, they feel safe in their presence. They are able to relax and connect on a deeper level as they trust that the interaction is genuine. Authenticity creates a sense of intimacy and trust that draws others in. Confidence is another key factor in magnetic attraction. Confidence comes from knowing that you are capable, worthy, and deserving of the best life has to offer. When a woman walks into a room with her head held high, with her posture strong, and her voice steady, people can help but notice. Confidence radiates from within, influencing how others perceive you and how they respond to you. This type of confidence is not arrogance, but a quiet self-assurance that is grounded in self-respect. It invites respect from others and makes a woman appear both approachable and powerful at the same time. Emotional intelligence also plays a role in magnetic attraction. A woman who understands and manages her emotions with grace can navigate social situations with ease. She is empathetic, able to connect with others on a deep emotional level, and can read the room to understand unspoken cues. This ability to connect emotionally creates a magnetic aura that draws people in, as they feel understood and validated in her presence. Now, emotional intelligence plays a role in every aspect of your life, and people are naturally attracted to individuals who make them feel seen, heard, and valued. This emotional awareness is key to building strong, lasting relationships with others. Another factor in magnetic attraction is the ability to remain calm under pressure. A woman who is composed and serene, even in challenging circumstances, exudes an aura of stability and strength. Her ability to stay grounded, even in the most chaotic situations, makes her a source of calm for those around her. People are drawn to this sense of stability because it offers them reassurance and comfort. When a woman is not easily rattled, she becomes a beacon of strength, and others feel safe to approach her, confide in her, or seek her guidance. Passion and purpose are also highly magnetic qualities. A woman who is passionate about her goals and pursuits carries a contagious energy that inspires those around her. This passion is evident in the way she speaks, moves, and engages with the world. When someone has a clear sense of purpose, others are naturally intrigued by it. Passion creates an aura of excitement and enthusiasm that makes people want to be a part of that energy. A woman who is driven by purpose is captivating, as she is not only focused on her own growth, but also inspiring others to pursue their own dreams. The way a woman cares for herself, both physically and emotionally, contributes to her magnetic presence. Self-care practices, such as nourishing the body with healthy food, engaging in physical activities, and taking time to nurture the mind and soul, enhance her overall energy. A woman who invests in her own well-being becomes more radiant, vibrant, and inviting. This attention to self-care signals to others that she values herself, and in turn, they are more likely to value and respect her. Just when she takes care of her needs, she becomes more equipped to show up fully for others. And this reciprocity is an essential aspect of magnetic attraction. Lastly, a sense of humor and lightness can enhance a woman's magnetic appeal. A woman who can laugh at herself, find humor in difficult situations, and enjoy life's simple pleasures exudes a warmth that draws people in. Humor has the power to disarm, to create connection, and to break down barriers between people. It creates an atmosphere of ease and comfort, making others feel at ease in her presence. It's the miracle of understanding that diverse groups like black men like me live our lives as one and live life the way we were designed. People are attracted to those who can bring joy and positivity into their lives, and a woman who embodies this playful energy becomes irresistible to those around her. Boundaries are essential to maintaining emotional, mental, and physical well-being. They are the invisible lines we draw that protect our energy, our time, and our sense of self. A woman who sets clear boundaries communicates to others that she values herself and expects to be treated with respect. Confidence through boundaries means knowing where to draw the line and being unapologetic about protecting her space. Rather than feeling guilty for asserting herself, she understands that setting boundaries is an act of self-respect, and that by doing so, she is ensuring that her relationships are healthy and balanced. The process of setting boundaries requires a deep understanding of one's own needs and limits. A woman who is confident in her boundaries knows what she can tolerate and what she cannot. This self-awareness allows her to identify situations or people that drain her or cause discomfort. By recognizing her limits, she takes control of her emotional energy, ensuring that she does not overextend herself. This confidence in knowing her own needs enables her to act decisively when faced with situations that threaten her peace or well-being. She does not second-guess herself because she understands that maintaining her boundaries is key to living a fulfilled and balanced life. Boundaries also communicate a sense of self-worth. When a woman sets boundaries, she is sending a powerful message that she deserves respect and that her time and energy are valuable. This act of self-preservation is a reflection of her belief in her own value. Confidence grows as she learns to say no when necessary, without feeling obligated to justify or apologize for her decisions. Setting boundaries becomes an empowering practice as it allows her to reclaim control over her life and steer it in a direction that aligns with her desires and goals. Each time she upholds her boundaries, she reinforces her sense of self-worth and strengthens her confidence. End of chapter 12. Furthermore, confidence through boundaries creates healthier relationships. A woman who is clear about her boundaries is better able to navigate relationships with integrity and respect. Instead of allowing others to overstep or take advantage, she communicates her limits in a direct and respectful way. This establishes an atmosphere of mutual respect where both parties understand each other's needs and limits. Healthy boundaries foster relationships built on trust, as they provide a safe space for both individuals to express themselves honestly. Confidence in setting boundaries ensures that relationships are not one-sided, but are instead collaborative and supportive. This is where leadership falls into place, and recognize that under any circumstances, boundaries must be forged wisely and courageously. Learning to set boundaries also allows a woman to prioritize herself and her needs without feeling guilty. Many women struggle with the idea of putting themselves first, fearing that it may be seen as selfish or self-centered. However, when a woman learns that her needs are just as important as anyone else's, she begins to create space for self-care and personal growth. Confidence through boundaries empowers her to say yes to what truly serves her and no to what drains or depletes her. She understands that by taking care of herself first, she is better equipped to give to others without losing herself in the process. And finally, there is a space for each of us to grow and evolve, requiring different levels of release and pressure to grow and evolve to the best version of self. Boundaries also play a significant role in protecting a woman's emotional health. A woman who is confident in her boundaries can distance herself from toxic or draining individuals. She is able to recognize when a relationship or situation is causing harm to her emotional well-being and take appropriate steps to distance herself or address the issue. This emotional intelligence helps her avoid unnecessary stress and emotional burnout. She is no longer afraid to walk away from relationships or environments that do not align with her values, knowing that doing so is an act of self-love and self-protection. In this way, confidence through boundaries acts as a shield against negative influences. The act of setting and maintaining boundaries also fosters personal growth. A woman who is consistently clear about her limits and expectations becomes more self-disciplined and intentional in her actions. She learns to recognize patterns of behavior that are not serving her, whether it's overcommitting, allowing disrespect, or tolerating unhealthy situations. Each time she reinforces her boundaries, she strengthens her ability to make decisions that align with her true self. This growth translates into all areas of her life, from her career to her personal relationships, creating a sense of empowerment and forward momentum. Finally, boundaries contribute to a balanced life. A woman who is confident in her boundaries knows how to allocate her time and energy wisely, ensuring that she has space for her passions, hobbies, and personal growth. She does not become overwhelmed by the demands of others because she is clear about what she is willing and able to give. By honoring her boundaries, she creates a harmonious balance between work, relationships, and self-care, and creates a harmonious balance between work and relationships and self-care. This balance allows her to maintain her peace, her focus, and her sense of purpose, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling and empowered life. Detachment is often misunderstood as coldness or indifference, but it is in fact a powerful practice of emotional freedom. The freedom of detachment is not about cutting yourself off from the world or from relationships. Rather, it is the ability to release attachment to outcomes, possessions, and even to the opinions of others. It's the connection to the opinions of others. When a woman embraces detachment, she learns to let go of the need to control every aspect of her life, allowing her to move through the world with greater peace and clarity. It is about finding contentment within herself, regardless of external circumstances, and trusting that things will unfold as they are meant to. The moment of radical contentment arrives when a woman embraces detachment. She learns to let go of the need to control every aspect of her life, and allowing her to move through the world with greater peace and clarity. At the core of detachment is the understanding that true happiness comes from within, not from external validation or material possessions. A woman who practices detachment does not rely on external sources, whether it's praise, approval, or things, to define her sense of self-worth. She has cultivated a deep inner peace that is not swayed by the ups and downs of life. Detachment allows her to focus on what truly matters to her, releasing the distractions that often cloud her sense of purpose. This internal foundation of self-sufficiency is what ultimately grants her the freedom to live a life that is aligned with her true desires. Detachment also allows for emotional freedom. By letting go of unhealthy attachments to people or situations, a woman creates space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships. She learns to love without dependency, to give without expectation, and to engage with others without the fear of losing herself. The freedom that comes with detachment means she is no longer at the mercy of someone else's behavior or approval. Instead, she gives herself the permission to release emotional baggage and to stay grounded in her own sense of identity, regardless of how others may react or behave. Now, furthermore, detachment offers the freedom to move through challenges with grace. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and detachment enables a woman to face adversity without becoming consumed by it. She learns to accept that there are things beyond her control, and that it is not necessary to attach herself to every problem or setback. And it is not necessary to attach herself to every problem or setback. Rather than spiraling into stress or frustration, she can observe the situation with a sense of detachment, allowing her to make more thoughtful and calm decisions. This emotional resilience empowers her to bounce back from hardship and continue forward without being weighed down by the past. The practice of detachment also fosters personal growth. When a woman is detached from the need for approval, she is free to explore and express herself authentically. She can step into her power without fear of judgment, because her sense of self is not reliant on the opinions of others. Detachment frees her from the pressure to conform to societal expectations, allowing her to pursue her own unique path. You'll understand when I tell you that the word detachment rhymes with a password to dominance, to control, to demilitarize. This freedom to be true to herself leads to a more fulfilling life, where she can chase her passions and goals with clarity and purpose, unencumbered by the need for external validation. Detachment provides the ability to focus on the present moment rather than being stuck in the past or anxious about the future. A woman who practices detachment is not constantly rehashing old mistakes or worrying about what might happen next. She understands that the only moment that truly matters is the one she is living in right now. This focus on the present allows her to fully engage with life, appreciate the small joys, and make conscious choices that align with her values. Detachment enables her to let go of regrets and fears, creating space for gratitude and mindfulness to thrive. In relationships, detachment promotes healthy boundaries and self-respect. A woman who is emotionally detached in a healthy way is not overly dependent on others for her happiness or well-being. She understands the importance of maintaining her own identity within relationships and not losing herself in the process. This type of detachment creates space for more balanced, fulfilling interactions where both parties can show up as their authentic selves. Where it also encourages the ability to walk away from relationships that are not serving her well, trusting that her worth does not depend on anyone else's approval or affection. Finally, detachment grants the freedom to experience life without fear or attachment to the outcome. A woman who embraces detachment approaches life with an open mind and heart, ready to explore new opportunities without the burden of expectations. She understands that life is unpredictable and that attachment to any specific outcome only leads to disappointment or frustration. By releasing the need for things to turn out a certain way, she can experience life with a sense of adventure and curiosity. Detachment becomes a form of liberation, where she is free to embrace all of life's experiences without clinging to any particular result.